game at the moment. So we still have this wind going away from the radar, wind going towards the radar, potential tornado if there is one indeed on the ground. Let me zoom in just a little bit more. We've got Stonewall there on the top right-hand side of your screen. And we've got Hahn Road, a potential tornado, if there is one on the ground, is crossing over Hahn Road, may stay just south of Stonewall proper, and in general head closer to LBJ State Park thereafter. Let me zoom back out, get the big picture view. Once again, if you're just joining us, this is our only storm of concern, but it is certainly a concerning storm over here for the southeastern hill country. Yeah, that's some impressive rotation. I just think it's a little bit above the surface right now. I don't see anything that really jumps out to me. We're not seeing what's called a couplet, where you've got bright green and bright red right next to each other, like we had last week when we had an EF1 tornado ripping through northeastern Burnett County. I mean, it was bright red, bright green. We're just not seeing that here. So that's some encouraging news at the moment. That does not mean you need to let your guard down. That means you need to continue to pay attention to this extremely closely because this storm has certainly the potential to drop a tornado at any moment if it has not done so already. Let me get you the big picture view once again. You know what? Let me go over what you may have missed if you didn't join us on CBS Austin this morning. We've got a severe thunderstorm watch along and west of I-35. That's in effect until 10 a.m. However, I think many of us, including perhaps the I-35 corridor, will be upgraded to a tornado watch. That's what's shown here from the Storm Prediction Center. We just have this one storm, but it's obviously showing signs of potentially producing a tornado. So we may see more of our area upgraded as the severe weather threat further ramps up as the morning progresses. But for now, it is just this one storm in Gillespie County heading towards Blanco County. Get you back over to the radar view and put it into motion for you. For everyone watching along I-35, San Marcos, all the way up to Georgetown, Jarrell, you're doing just fine. These are some spotty downpours, streamer showers as we call them, but they could be the genesis of eventually more storms that develop here within the next hour, hour and a half or so. For now, it is still just this one storm that's producing a tornado warning in effect until 8 a.m., which is about another 30 minutes from now, give or take. Stonewall, you're right in the mix of what could be the rotation of concern that could be producing a tornado. Let me get you the view of that once again. Here's another scan. Zooming in a little bit closer. If you're watching in Stonewall, you got to be in your tornado safe place. Gots to be. Please do not delay. This tornado could be right on top of you if there is one on the ground. Again, I'm trying to give you a little bit of encouragement while we need to play this safe and be in our tornado safe place. There's nothing that jumps out to me at the moment that says this is a tornado on the ground, at least by the radar presentation, while keeping in mind that we're looking at the storm above the surface because our radar sight's all the way back down in New Braunfels. So there's the rotation. Red's going away from the radar, wind's going towards the radar right there. So anything that touches red and green, that's where we could have a tornado on the ground. Nothing that jumps out at the moment, but if you're closer to LBJ State Park, go ahead and get in your tornado safe place if you're in high as well. This is all heading towards the east. It may cross over the Highway 290 corridor. There's a fresh update on rotation. Again, if you are just joining us, tornado warning in effect. We're looking very closely at southeastern Gillespie County. There's Stonewall, LBJ State Park. We've got Martin Road. If that stands out to you, you got to be in your tornado safe place. State Park Road 49, a part of LBJ State Park. Sure, we got some folks over there as well. Lower Albert Road. All heading towards the east, northeast at about 25 miles per hour. Johnson City, you're still included in this tornado warning. It's going to be, give or take, I'm going to say about 30 minutes away from you. Yep. About 30 minutes away from you. If the rotation stays on its present course, it's going to be closer to high by 7:43, Johnson City around 8 a.m. So I know it's a morning commute, right? Everyone's trying to start their day, get to work, get to school, delay it. If your kids are already at school, then they're in a fantastic, safe place. The school's got a plan in place to get those kids in an interior room and keeping them away from a tornado. But if you're at home, wait it out. Don't try to hit the road in this. Not only are we seeing the potential for a tornado in this rotation moving through southeastern Gillespie County, but we've got some hail up to 1 inch in diameter indicated by radar as well. Let me flip back over to our radar. get a wider view of things. A lot of lightning in here. That's an impressive hook echo, friends. Right there on the southwest side of Stonewall. You're looking at, on the left-hand side of your screen, our Emily is in the traffic tracker heading generally towards Johnson City. We're, of course, going to hope that she can get a good feel of things while also staying as safe as possible. So she's heading through a mess. Visibility out there, not great, right? So don't be trying to get outside and look at this tornado. You can see that you really can't see too far down the road from Emily's perspective in the traffic tracker. So if you're out trying to see, is this tornado actually going to come to my house? Don't try to. You're probably not going to be able to see it if it is there at all because of the fog and, of course, the rain associated with this tornado. Let's go back full screen with radar while we wait for the storm to get a little bit closer to Emily over there in Johnson City. Interesting little move this storm has made. Generally, when storms are really intense, they get caught up in the upper level flow of the atmosphere and they're moving more towards the east. But this is all of a sudden kind of jumped over Highway 290 and maybe tracking a bit more northerly. Northeast, of course, but not quite the due east direction it was once on. That may also be a good sign. Hopefully it's starting to lose some of its organization, but I tell you what, we are not going anywhere at the moment when the rotation looks like this. We're going to stay on air with you for our friends in Gillespie County heading into the western side of Blanco County. Still not seeing that couplet, the bright greens or blues next to the bright reds or oranges. So this is still broad rotation, but certainly concerning enough that we got to play it safe. Ranch Road 1 in the mix here, Highway 290. With this rotation kind of shifting its course a little bit, maybe we get some help there in Johnson City. Let's assume it kind of tracks a little bit farther towards the northeast instead of right towards Johnson City. Only one town showing up here. Of course, this is the hill country. A lot of open landscape, sparse population. We've got the town of Sandy, northwest of Johnson City. That could be a concern for you closer to 8 to 8:10 a.m., about 40 minutes from now. Flipping back over towards the loop. Put this into motion for you. Let me get that out of there, get you a good perspective of how this is all playing out. Yeah, okay. We like what we're seeing here, friends. Still rotation, but it continues to look less organized, less defined, and less right next to each other, like you would want to see if there was indeed a tornado on the ground. Doesn't look anything like that tornado that touched down on the radar presentation last week back in Burnett County, northeastern Burnett County. That was an EF1 tornado, and it showed up loud and clear on radar. I don't think we have a tornado on the ground at the moment, but of course, this storm with the rotation it is showing above our heads, that's mid-level rotation called a mesocyclone. That's certainly a precursor to what could be a tornado. So we're going to keep a close eye on this for you. Again, let me expand to the broader view. It's just one storm for now. This is a weather alert day for all of us. We're eventually going to see a tornado watch expanded across much of central Texas because this is just the first storm of many more that could develop as the morning progresses. We've got a door right here to the outside, big old downpour coming out in North Austin where our studio is located. We've also have this kind of complex of storms, non-severe over here towards the west. I don't think that's going to cause any problems. It's the storms that develop out ahead of them that are free to do whatever they want and spin up, get you some rotation and possibly a tornado. Those are going to be the storms of concern. Let me zoom back in on this tornado warning. Again, if you're just joining us, our friends in southern and eastern Gillespie County, over towards Blanco County, Round Mountain, Johnson City, you're included in this tornado warning. Interesting little jog, though, towards the north a little bit. Getting north of Highway 290, let's see what that rotation's looking like as this happens. Generally, the stronger storms that are really tornado prone are going to make that turn kind of clockwise towards the east or southeast. So if this one's making a turn in the opposite direction, that could be a good sign that we are reducing our overall short-term tornado concern. Let's zoom in, flip over to velocity. I mean, it's still suspect, don't get me wrong. We've got broad rotation right here, now moving east of Stonewall. Hopefully that did not cause any problems for our friends in Stonewall. This is what we call a mesocyclone. Think of it as a broad area of rotation above the surface. It is a precursor to a tornado, but this does not scream to me tornado at the moment for our friends in extreme southeastern Gillespie County. If you're back towards Fredericksburg, even towards Stonewall at this point, you are very quickly getting out of the tornado concern with this particular storm. The concern will, of course, flare up towards Blanco County. You know what? That wind's starting to look a little bit brighter, isn't it? The red going away from our radar site, really starting to brighten up here. Let me see what our computer has to say about what those winds are looking like. This would be inflow winds going into the storm. Those could be near severe criteria. Straight line winds, 58, maybe 60 miles per hour. That certainly could cause some problems. But what I hate to see is that velocity, the inflow really ticking up. That could mean the storm's trying to reorganize, get its act together once again. For now, there is nothing that stands out to me as there being a tornado on the ground, but let's pretend that there is, shall we? And make sure we're being very safe, just in case. So here's Stonewall, LBJ State Park. The potential area of rotation would be here to the southeast of Double Horn Road, heading towards the northeast. Let's flip over to velocity. Now we're zoomed in nice and close. Yeah, there you go. Again, broad rotation, but it certainly could drop a tornado at any point. This is hopefully going to stay just to the northwest of high. That's been the trend that we like to see, staying away from our population centers. But notice there's a lot of county roads in here. Schmidt Road, we've got, I can't read that one. Phelpstein Road? Whichever it is. There are people that live out here, and if you're watching this morning from our rural communities out here in the Hill Country, talking to you in now Blanco County primarily, closer to Sandy, to the northwest and west of Johnson City, you got to be in your tornado safe place. I know it sounds a little extreme, but if there is indeed a tornado on the ground, putting a helmet on your head, maybe covering yourself up with pillows if you don't have a helmet, sounds silly, but you know, if there's a tornado ripping through your house, you want as much protection as possible, right? Not saying that there is right now. We don't have any word of this being a confirmed tornado. This is radar indicated rotation, not confirmed on the ground, and I think it would be hard for us to confirm it anyway. Can we pull up that double box with Emily again as she's heading through Blanco County closer to Johnson City? The visibility is not great out here. These storms are moving through a generally foggy, murky landscape. There we go. And we got a little echo from me as well. There we go. Doesn't hurt to hear the message twice. There we go. There it's gone. Yeah, it's gloomy out here in the Hill Country. As far as I know it, Emily's heading north in the traffic tracker on 290 closer to Johnson City. And she cannot see anything, at least more than about, what, a quarter mile down the road? So you do not need to be outside trying to find this thing yourself. You will not be able to find it. If we're going to get a confirmation on a tornado on the ground, it's probably going to become as the result of damage, which we have not had any yet, as far as I understand it. Again, Emily's heading towards Johnson City, which is on the, hopefully going to stay on the southeastern side of this. Let's get an update from our Emily out there in the traffic tracker. Emily, first, I need to know, I'm very curious, where exactly are you? Where are you heading? And what have you seen? Have you felt any of the winds starting to push the car around a little bit on your drive over there through the Hill Country? Fill us in, please.
Yeah, Avery, actually we are starting to get a little bit of the wind out here. It is moving our car just a little bit. We've actually come through Johnson City already and are heading down the 290 west towards that whole area. You're telling people to take shelter. And I mean, so far we've seen a few flashes of lightning, still no rain yet, but the wind is definitely starting to pick up a little bit. And as you mentioned, the visibility out here is not great. And I know there's still cars out here that are driving on the road. So if you're listening, you're out here in this area, please take shelter. Please get off the road for the time being. Not the best conditions to be driving out here right now. So we're still heading west on the 290. We'll keep you updated about what we're seeing out here as the winds are picking up, rain's coming down. But for now, I'll send it back to you, Avery.
Thank you so much, Emily. Great to know. Please stay safe as you're making your trip over there through the Hill Country. We do not have any word from the National Weather Service at the moment of there being a confirmed tornado associated with this tornado warning. It's an impressive storm nonetheless, and of course is justified to see this tornado warning. We would love to see this come and go without anything touching on the ground. But at times, this storm has really looked impressive. Here's the last hour of a radar loop. It was kind of heading more towards the east, right along 290, and then it's made the skip up towards the north a little bit. So the rotation probably going to miss you in Johnson City towards the northwest, but that does increase the concern for Round Mountain. You're not included in this tornado warning at the moment, but I do want you to be vigilant just in case this thing does show increased signs of rotation that could be indicative of a tornado. Sorry for the herky-jerky movement there, but I want to look at this rotation once again. Nothing of concern that really jumps out as a tornado at the moment, but you know, right there, the red right next to the green, that's where we're seeing broad rotation that at any moment could tighten up. We had that tornado last week in Burnett County. Touchdown as an EF1, destroyed some buildings, led to one injury on a road. We don't want to see that repeated in case there is a tornado that touches down. So if you're watching from Johnson City, over here closer to, let's say, of course, Highway 290, a little bit farther towards the northeast as well, Sandy, small town there, just to the northwest of Johnson City. If you're watching this, I want you to pretend that there's a tornado on the ground, all right? That means getting into the interior room of your house, away from doors and windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This has really brightened up recently in most recent scans. Again, that's wind heading away from the radar. Could be a precursor to intensification of this mesocyclone that would eventually drop a tornado. Remains to be seen. We just have to wait and see what this continues to look like as it heads down the road. Heading towards the northeast at about 25, 30 miles per hour, might be moving a little more quickly now. Generally towards Round Mountain, there's another scan. This is starting to look really muddy to me. Muddy meaning kind of gargly in there, the velocity data. It might be something called side lobe contamination, which can happen and look like a tornado, even if it's not a tornado. Let me get you the broad perspective once again here briefly. There's some hail in here up to 1 inch in diameter, all this heading towards Round Mountain. We've got another 10 minutes on this tornado warning. I want to take a moment now to get with Allison Miller, who's live at the desk with us, keeping a close eye on power outages, any other issues that we may see. Allie, what do you have going on?
Yeah, we are seeing a couple power outages, Avery. We've got Perdonalis reporting about 80. These are ahead of the storm. This is a look at the Central Texas Electric Co-op that you're seeing now. A few scattered outages along that line of storm, so likely weather-related in the Gillespie area. Like I mentioned, Perdonalis has some as well, but those are out ahead of the storm, so may or may not be weather-related. Also checking on any school delays. I haven't seen any out towards Blanco or Gillespie ISD. No reports from them, but again, that's where that storm system is now. I'm also in the National Weather Service chat looking for updates for you, Avery. At this point, they're trying to find some wind speeds right at that Gillespie-Blanco County line, so I'll let you know if they report anything.
All right, thank you so much. Yep, we'll have to stay tuned to the National Weather Service chat to see if they get any reports from law enforcement of there being any damage associated with this tornadic storm. It has shown signs of tornadic rotation, but as far as we know, since we've been on the air, we have not had a tornado touchdown associated with this storm. All right, we want to get over to Emily very quickly. The traffic tracker, she's in Blanco County heading towards Johnson City. Emily, what can you update us with?
Yeah, so we're actually past Johnson City, but we're towards the LBJ Ranch area, and just within the past 2 minutes since I last talked to you, it's gotten super dark out here. The wind has really picked up. We're starting to see the rain come down just a little bit more. So again, if you are in this area, because I know we're still passing plenty of cars, please get to a safe place. Please get off the road for the time being, because obviously, as you can see from our picture, it's definitely, wind's picking up out here. It's definitely dark. Not the greatest conditions out here right now. But we'll keep you updated as we continue to go along. Sending it back to you, Avery. All
right, Emily, before I let you know, just wanted to clarify. Are you heading north on 281 or are you still westbound on 290?
We're still westbound on 290 right now.
Gotcha. Do me a favor, and when it's safe to do so, maybe find a spot to turn around, head back towards the east, generally towards Johnson City. You may want to head north thereafter. Thank you so much, Emily. We'll keep an eye on your live feed from our traffic tracker over there in the Hill Country. Also got to update you on a brand new tornado warning that was just issued by the National Weather Service. So there's the old tornado warning, included Stonewall. You're safe now back in Gillespie County. All good at the moment as far as this particular storm is concerned. But there's our new tornado warning. Includes a bigger area of northern Blanco County. Still includes Johnson City as well, though this storm is at the moment comfortably far to your northwest. So got to play it safe just in case. This tornado warning now also includes Horseshoe Bay, Marble Falls, Spicewood, getting very close to the far western outskirts of Travis County. So new tornado warning. Hail is less than an inch in diameter, so that's good. The only concern with this storm is going to be the potential for, some small hail, but of course the rotation as well. With that in mind, let's go to velocity. Let's see what we're seeing now. Studying. Not too impressive. The broad rotation is there, friends. Red and green right next to each other, northwest of Johnson City. It could produce a tornado, but nothing here on radar stands out as a tornado in progress or a confirmed tornado on the ground. So this is still going to be radar indicated rotation. Let me make sure that's the case with this updated tornado warning. Yep, tornado, radar indicated rotation. So there's still no confirmation of this on the ground from the National Weather Service, but we got to pretend like there is, right? So with that in mind, get you a closer view here. Northwestern side of Johnson City. I think this is comfortably far away from you. I don't want you to totally let your guard down just yet, but you got to stay at your safe place, as well as Sandy. That could be the more direct hit. Let's get an update on Allie. What do you have going on?
Yeah, Avery, so that
Hang on, stand by. We're going to get your mic coming back on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so latest update from the National Weather Service. They just said that the tornadic storm is turning a little more north. That's why they've issued that new tornado warning. And then they did spot some, at least radar wind speeds of about 62 miles per hour at the county line. That would be between High and Sandy.
Yeah, and that's what we were looking at here as well. So glad to know that what we're seeing here is not too different from the National Weather Service. Doesn't take any concern out of the situation for our friends over here in Blanco County. We just got a fresh radar scan update, and keep in mind there's a lot of noise in here. So we're not getting the best data. Some of these blotches of red, that's not actual good data to chew on in the velocity scan here. That's called side lobe contamination. Can happen on intense thunderstorms like this, but you still in general see some red going that way away from radar, green going towards the radar. So in general, if there is a tornado possibly causing some problems, no confirmation of that at the moment, it's going to be closer up here to the southwest side of Sandy. If you are in Sandy, or if you live along Ranch Road 1323, you got to be in your tornado safe place immediately, just in case this is going to drop a tornado. It does not look alarmingly impressive to me at the moment, but tornadoes, they happen like that. Even in a broad rotation scenario like this, where all we're seeing is this mid-level, what we call mesocyclone winds, it does not take long. You've probably seen videos of a tornado dropping. It can happen really quick. So that's why we're taking every precaution here and staying on air with you for as long as these tornadoes are potentially causing a problem for our friends in the Hill Country. And if you're just joining us, again, meteorologist Avery Tomasco, happy to be with you, even under the circumstances this morning. Let me get you the broad perspective on what we have going on across central Texas. This thunderstorm has been alive, I want to say, for a couple hours now. Started to the west of Bandera, moved through Kerrville with 2-inch diameter hail. And when it got into Gillespie County, that's when it really started tightening up that rotation. Never to the point of dropping a tornado. We don't have any confirmation of that right now. But the atmosphere, a lot of wind shear. These storms, anything that bubbles up tall enough in the atmosphere is going to have the favorable environment to get tornadoes to occur. Let me check in again, see if they have gone ahead and expanded the tornado watch. They have not yet, but as of last check, which was about 30 minutes ago, the Storm Prediction Center was going to be issuing a new tornado watch that includes more of central Texas, because we're seeing storms like this that are tapping into the wind shear, tapping into this very energetic environment and trying to get a little spinny on us. So there you go again. Tornado warning continues until 8:30 this morning. Another 35 minutes. We're going to be with you until this either peters out entirely and they cancel it early. Maybe they issue another one down the road. We'll see what happens. But we are looking closely to the southwest of Round Mountain, northwest of Johnson City. This storm potentially producing a tornado, though we haven't confirmed that yet, is heading towards the northeast pretty quickly. Here's the radar perspective. A lot of lightning in here. Hopefully you're inside. Yeah, you know what? Starting to get a bit more concerned here just by the radar presentation. For the last little bit, the velocity, the rotation we've seen was kind of distended away from the rest of the mature storm complex. That's starting to change. I want to show you what I'm talking about here. Zooming in closer to northwest side of Johnson City. See how this is kind of dropping down a little bit? Let me back up a few frames. See how that's starting to drop down as we get further in time? If that really starts wrapping around, these are called the RFD winds, rear flank downdraft winds. If that really starts to get sucked back in here towards the east, then we're going to start talking more about a potential tornado on the ground. So this could be organizing as we speak. Fresh radar scan coming in as we were mentioning that. Really well-defined hook echo, or at least the start of a well-defined hook echo right there. The common comma kidney bean shape that you see in a supercell, we've got it. That hook echo is generally heading towards the northeast. Heads up in Round Mountain. You've got, give or take, let's see how this is moving. You've got, give or take, about 30 minutes before this is getting close to you in Round Mountain, assuming it's heading straight to the northeast. 8:20 a.m. Yeah, about 25 minutes or so. So please get in your tornado-safe place. Interior room of your home, lowest floor of the building. If you're in an apartment, same story, get to the bottom floor. Stay safe. This could be a increasing tornado threat. Before we get into the rest of this storm, we'll look at velocity again momentarily. We got to get over to Allie, who has some news for us. Allie.
This was just a minute ago, Avery, as you were talking about the re-intensification, but National Weather Service posted that the circulation not looking as organized with the latest scan. They say they'll continue to keep the warning up as long as there's the potential for the storm to reorganize as it moves northeast into Burnett and far southeast Llano counties.
Yeah, and I concur with National Weather Service. It doesn't look that impressive at the moment. A lot of noise in here, but in general, winds going that way, winds going this way. Somewhere in between there could be a tornado, but I think we're kind of going through a reorganization process on this particular storm. Certainly justified to still have this tornado warning in effect. Let me include all of that tornado warning. Show you where it's heading. Up towards Round Mountain, certainly we've got Marble Falls. Spicewood is in here as well. Getting close to the Highland Lake chain up here, right along the Colorado River. A lot of folks closer to Horseshoe Bay, of course, getting this alert on their phones. This is still a ways off from you, about 30 minutes or so, as we watch this storm potentially reorganize. Not a bad idea, if you haven't done so yet, to clear out whatever your tornado safe room is in your house. Be prepared to get in there. I would do so now. There was a refresh of that radar image again, and once again we're looking at our Emily's live shot from the traffic tracker. She is in the hill country, Blanco County as I understand it. If we can talk to Emily. Emily, update me on where you're heading now. Did you make that turnaround? Are you heading back north on 281 perhaps?
Yeah, Avery, we have made that turnaround. We're headed back down the 281 let me give you a look outside. As you can see, things are a little bit lighter out here, still not hitting much of the wind or the rain at this time or this point, but as I keep mentioning throughout the morning, there's still a lot of people out on the roads out here, which is not advised at this time. So anybody who's listening, please take shelter for the time being, as Avery has been mentioning. Of course, we're heading more towards where you've been talking about, Avery, and we'll continue to bring you updates as we get closer to that area. So sending it back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Emily. Yep. In general, if you're heading towards Round Mountain, you may get a look at something before long. Again, that's the view from our traffic tracker over there in Blanco County. telling view there because you can't really see much. A lot of times, especially Texans, want to go outside in a tornado warning and see, is that tornado coming to my house? Don't do it. You're not going to be able to see it in this case. It is foggy. It's rainy, even in the immediate vicinity of this storm. Continuing to every minute or two, getting a new scan on the velocity. That's what we're looking at here on what this tornado could be doing. It still looks broad to me. We're still not seeing that rapid organization or the red and green immediately touching each other. That could happen right in there. And if that happens, we're looking at a more dangerous situation. But for now, this is just a storm that is capable of producing a tornado at any moment. So it might as well be a tornado, right? Because if this is coming over your house, it may look good now, but it very quickly could drop a tornado. You want to be in the right place, right? That's an interior room of your home, away from doors and windows. Put as much real estate between you and the outside world as possible because that interior room is going to be the last thing that a tornado gets into, right? So there's that rotation. Let's check back in on the radar presentation. You hate to see that. All right, let me show you what's going on here. We've got the hail core here. Could be producing hail 3/4 of an inch in diameter. But beneath that hail core, you're seeing this hook echo here. That little appendage is called the hook echo, and that is looking healthier by the minute. All right, we've had one tornado warning expired. You just saw that happen from the National Weather Service, so all clear in Gillespie County at the moment. We'll, of course, watch for any additional storms that could come your way. A little bit farther towards the east, just some shower activity on the outskirts of this. We'll have to watch for any of those that could grow taller into thunderstorms, maybe severe. By the way, we're still in the mix of this severe storm threat that will likely take us through about 11 or noon today before we're starting to see things subside. So we're in the thick of it now. Of course, just one storm that we are watching very closely. The rest of this activity is nice and friendly, similar to yesterday. Got a whole lot of streamer shower activity. But we are concerned at the moment for our friends up here in the eastern hill country. So Round Mountain, if you're living in Round Mountain, if you're watching from there, you got to be in your tornado safe place. I don't like the way that this is starting to wrap up again. Better hook echo heading towards the northeast. Get you over to velocity again. A lot of inflow winds. Look at how bright that is. National Weather Service earlier was sampling this, seeing what kind of inflow winds this was producing. Now this may, granted, be above our heads a little bit, but the radar sampling this wind going into the storm, the rich flow going up into the atmosphere at near 60 miles per hour. That's right up there with a severe thunderstorm warning. So even if there is not a tornado wrapped up and twisting its way through, these straight line winds at 50, 60 miles per hour, certainly more than enough reason to be inside and, of course, away from doors and windows. Might as well be in your tornado safe place, right? Just in case we do indeed see a touchdown before long. Let me get back to the radar presentation. Put this in motion for you and let you know where we've been and where we're going. This storm started way back down there close to Kerrville, kind of made a turn towards the east. So Fredericksburg, you dodged a bullet of what could have been some hen egg sized hail. This has been undergoing some reorganization at times. I think we're in that process as we speak. But notice recently, I mean the last give or take 10 minutes, starting to see that hook echo look a little bit more defined right on the west side of Round Mountain. Now, if this storm also starts to turn a bit more towards the east, then we're really starting to get concerned. That's generally a hallmark of a storm that's about to produce a tornado. But at the moment, we do not have any ground truth confirmation from the National Weather Service or anybody else that there's a tornado on the ground. But the way this storm is looking, we got to pretend like there is, right? Do not want to get caught in the thick of this on the roads or outside or in a room that is, looking towards the outside that could be damaged and have some debris tossed around if you're trying to get a peek out the window. You're not going to be able to see much. We've been talking with Emily every now and then. In the traffic tracker, there has not been any good visibility out there in the hill country. She's been heading through Highway 281, West Highway 290. There's that perspective again. Yeah, so even if it's not raining, there's some drizzle and some mist. It's occluding your view of being able to see any potential tornado on the ground. So got to continue to caution you that you should not try to do that because you're not going to be able to see anything. We're not going to get any good pictures or videos of this thing, even if there is one on the ground, because it's obscured by the fog, the drizzle, just the yucky weather we've had ever since yesterday morning. Let's go back full screen. Good to see Emily still doing good over there and staying away from this potential tornado. The velocity, again, we get a new scan every few minutes. Still bright red, bright yellow here. A lot of inflow going straight into the storm, but we're not seeing that counteractive wind heading the other direction that would be alarming to me or anyone else that there's a tornado on the ground. So again, this tornado warning, if you are just tuning in, is in effect for Blanco County. Horseshoe Bay, you're included in this, far southeastern tip of Llano County, this over to Marble Falls as well, southern Burnett County, Spicewood. You're right on the edge of this tornado warning. It's heading pretty quickly to the northeast, 25, 30 miles per hour. The rotation, if there is any, is going to be right about here. Just got a new scan. It's going to be right about there in the appendage that hangs below the rest of the storm. That's heading towards the northeast at about 25, 30 miles per hour. So Round Mountain, you're running out of time. Please get in your tornado safe place. It's going to be on your front doorstep by 8:15. It's very soon, about 9 minutes. So you still got some time, but please get into your tornado safe place just in case this thing drops a tornado very quickly. They often do. Not much warning with these. But for now, it's just broad rotation that hasn't really tightened up just yet, so we're going to take the good news where we can get it. If this does indeed continue to look promising, or I should say organized, which, mind you, it has for 2 hours now, so we got to assume it's going to be looking healthy for a while to come. Spicewood, this will be closer to you, about 8:40 this morning, so we may very well see this tornado warning extended in time. Again, welcome to CBS Austin this morning. I'm meteorologist Avery Tomasco. Typically, you would be watching CBS mornings. But we are in a life-threatening situation, and whenever that's happening, such as with a tornado warning, we stay on the air until our friends in the hill country or wherever a tornado could be rolling through are all accounted for, and we've got them in their safe places. So we're going to stay with this for a while to come. No updates yet, in this being a confirmed tornado. No word on that yet from the National Weather Service, but this is an impressive storm. Fresh radar scan. Love getting these as rapidly as we are at the moment. Gets us some good data to chew on. So I know this looks suspect, right? Oops. Let me go back. Yeah, in case you didn't know, severe thunderstorm watch in effect, but that'll probably be quickly graduated to a tornado watch considering what we have seen going on with this one particular storm. So let me flip over back to velocity, and we're now pulling in data from the radar site up in Granger, northeastern Williamson County. Another view of the rotation, that's broad, overall not too impressive. If we look at the other radar site as well, just scooch a little bit like that. Also broad. I mean, I know it looks really bright right here, but that may be some contamination, as we call it, and not the actual sampling of the winds. So for now, we are still in good shape in terms of not seeing a confirmed tornado, but friends, it can happen really quick, so you have to be in your tornado safe place no matter what. Let's take a broad perspective here. As long as I've been on air with you, I haven't been able to study the rest of our atmosphere so far this morning for about the last 45 minutes or so. This is all streamer shower activity, and as innocuous as it is, this could easily graduate into a big, full-fledged thunderstorm, one capable of producing tornadoes like we've seen develop over there in the hill country. So we have a long way to go. I know it seems very isolated and not worth your time at the moment, but we are all under the gun for what could be some large hail, some damaging wind gusts, and as we're seeing here, potentially some tornado activity. Marble Falls, you're included in this. All the way through 8:30 this morning. Round Mountain, Spicewood is going to stay southeast of Kingsland the way we see it. So far, staying on a pretty true path to the northeast as the crow flies. If it makes a turn farther towards the east, that would be of greater concern, but it's not doing that at the moment. Now, if you're in Horseshoe Bay, you're not going to be in the running for the circulation at the moment, but you're about to get some hail, if you are not getting some already, up to 1 inch in diameter. Certainly could be worse and has been worse over the last week, but that's more than enough reason to stay inside. Marble Falls, you could get some of that as well. Round Mountain, that's going to be the area of concern at the moment for potentially some severe thunderstorm winds at the very least. The inflow heading into the storm. And if you're really unlucky, this circulation could manifest into a tornado. But for now, we're doing okay. Nothing that stands out to me as a confirmed tornadic couplet. Couplet is what it's called. When you have bright green right next to bright red, that's when we'd be concerned. And if there is a potential tornado, it is going to be heading into Round Mountain, but it just does not scream that to me right now. Hopefully that continues to stay the case, but we have to be prepared in case that is not the case, right? Let's get back to our Emily. She is out in the hill country in the traffic tracker. Emily, update us on what you're seeing. I'm assuming you're on 281 heading northbound, I hope.
Yeah, we're on the 281 right now. We're about 5 minutes out from Round Mountain right now. Wind is not that chaotic out here, but we're still getting blown around just a little bit. It is definitely starting to rain a lot more right now. We've definitely seen quite a few strikes of lightning coming through this area compared to what we were just seeing. But we'll continue to keep you updated as we get further in. Sending it back to you, Avery.
All right, thank you so much, Emily. She was on a political story this morning, and now she's our resident storm chaser. Welcome to Live News. Stay safe, of course, Emily. I'm going to try to guide you as best I can from here while I'm also updating our friends watching at home from the hill country. I think you're in a good spot if you're south of Round Mountain, Emily. Round Mountain itself is going to be more in the thick of this potential tornado concern. Not looking all that organized right now, friends. Kind of getting messier here on just the radar presentation alone. This storm has kind of cycled at times, produced circulation and dropped it off, and then a new circulation. Let's see what the latest velocity scan has to say. So if there is, oh, okay. Do we have
Gone.
Allison?
Okay.
Go ahead.
You were referring to the possibility of the tornado watch being extended. The National Weather Service says they're collaborating with the Storm Prediction Center to go from that severe watch to a tornado watch for the eastern counties. So that should be out shortly. If it does, I'll let you know.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. And as soon as I get word of that, I'll show you which counties are included. Last check, it will include the I-35 corridor and just about everyone in our viewing area towards the east. That means all forms of severe weather are possible. But with the potential for tornadoes, you get a tornado watch, even if there's also some baseball-sized hail in the mix. Can't rule that out today either. So again, we're looking at velocity scan here. If you're just joining us, tornado warning in effect for Blanco County, far southeastern Llano County, Horseshoe Bay, Marble Falls, and Burnett County. Over towards Spicewood, this tornado warning will be in effect for another 15 minutes, subject to change on whether or not this storm's starting to really lose its organization, which it might be. We cannot take that too seriously at the moment. If there is a tornado, it's going to be right here, perhaps, but this is really starting to get muddy, isn't it? Winds going away from the radar, winds going towards the radar in green. So somewhere in between, there could be a tornado trying to drop down, but this does not look impressive. Hopefully we continue to see the storm not have the best ingredients to work with. Yeah, it's just kind of looking blobby now, isn't it? It's kind of a blob. It doesn't have that classic supercell shape with the hook echo. I mean, there's a little bit of one, but not nearly as impressive as it was back there towards the west side of Johnson City about 20 minutes ago. We're also maybe getting some help from these streamer showers. As they get sucked into the storm, they can cause some disorganization. That could help. We'll see. But for now, we're going to continue to stay on air with you as long as this tornado warning is in progress, even if there is not a confirmed tornado, because one could be produced in a short period of time. Generally heading towards the northeast. Looks like the hail has weakened here, despite the fact that I know this tornado warning still has the 1-inch hail tag attached to it, but I'm not seeing anything like that on the radar presentation. No hail core, no pink shown in here, so that's good news, along with the overall disorganization that this storm's starting to show. Now, we can't totally discount that this storm is not just going through perhaps another reorganization phase, and then it emerges over, say, southern Burnett County in a much healthier shape. But for now, let's see.
Oh, they've
that
issued
right
that
there?
tornado watch
Oh, they did? Okay.
in effect until 4 p.m.
Yeah, until 4 p.m. for, I'm sure, our most eastern counties. I'm sure Austin is included in that until 4 p.m., but this severe weather threat will not last that long.
It's not
along
Austin,
I-35.
actually.
Okay.
It's just to the east of Austin. So
Let's take a peek.
Bastrop, Lee, Caldwell, Fayette County. Oh, there you go. Oh, no, now it's...
Just about everybody.
Everybody.
Yep, just about everyone. Even back behind that current storm, we've got this tornado watch in effect. For our southeastern counties, it's going to be until 4 p.m.
Yes.
And for everyone else as well till 4 p.m. This won't last that long, but still, tornado watch now in effect. Remember, it's like cooking in the kitchen. Ingredients are there, but they haven't combined yet. As soon as they combine, you get a tornado, then it turns into a tornado warning. But for now, the ingredients are just there. We just haven't assembled it yet, so it's a tornado watch. More counties being added to this by the moment. So if you got friends or family who live over towards southeast Texas as well, this is a pretty wide berth of area that is going to be subject to storms that will try to produce tornadoes at times. Back to the radar scan. Tornado warning continues until 8:30. They have not opted to extend that just yet, and I agree with that at the moment. We've got plenty of shower activity. Yeah, I know it doesn't look like much, but just that little uptick in intensity back there towards the southern hill country and some of this activity as well. All you need is for those little streamer showers to pop through the cap, and all of a sudden they could look like what we're seeing over here in the eastern hill country. The storm heading generally towards the northeast. Now running into Marble Falls. Look at all that lightning. Indicative of some hail, sure, but I don't think it's all that big at the moment. Maybe up to 1 inch in diameter, but that's probably embellishing a little bit. Our main concern here in a tornado warning is what kind of rotation we might be seeing. Let's pause this. See what our velocity scan's looking like. Now we're getting some more information. That's kind of goofy. Not very well defined, friends. Let me try to find our potential source of issues, going back a little bit in time. Yeah, so it doesn't look great. If you see the flip-flopping colors, that's because we're kind of in between two radar sites. So it's trying to pick the best radar site to sample this storm from a distance, mind you. But it shows in this particular view, winds going that way, winds going this way. Green is towards the radar. Those could be some mean RFD winds rolling right into Round Mountain, even if you don't have a tornado there. Let's see what velocity has to say about that. I'm guessing about 60 miles per hour, maybe a little bit more. Well, that doesn't help me any. Let's get that out of there. Take the warnings away. I want to sample what kind of winds we're getting here on the hook echo. I don't agree with that either. Probably in the vicinity of about 50, 60 miles per hour. Okay, I'm done with you. Let's go back to velocity. Shows the tornado warning there. It's been trimmed back. So Johnson City, you're no longer included in this tornado warning. Good news. Get out and about if you need to, but please be aware that there could be more storms later this morning. We're still in the running for a potential tornado in Horseshoe Bay, Marble Falls, closer to Spicewood. It's hard to zoom in and tell you which towns may be more susceptible to a potential tornado because this velocity data is so muddy. Let's say in general, maybe close to Round Mountain. Winds trying to go that way, winds trying to go this way when we're sampling from the radar site down in New Braunfels. Just northwest of Cypress Hill, Spicewood, you got to watch out for this as well. All right, we've got Emily again in the traffic tracker heading through some construction, it looks like, on Highway 281. In general, I think she's getting to or just north of Round Mountain. Emily, what are you seeing? Any updates for us, and where are you heading?
Right now, according to my maps, we're coming through Round Mountain. We're not seeing too much. We got a little bit of rain about a few minutes ago, but it's since died down. Still very cloudy. Visibility is still really bad out here, as you can see. But Avery, I do have a question for you since I'm on with you. Should we keep going towards Marble Falls right now? Is that the direction the storm's looking the best to hit at this time?
Yeah, in general, I think that's a good idea. There's not too many other alternate routes there, Emily. So I would continue north on Highway 281. You're eventually going to hit Highway 71, which runs east to west. At that point, Yeah, I don't know if I would keep sending you to the north. You could. I don't want you to run into this storm. There's a little bit of hail in there, and of course the potential for a tornado that I don't want you to get mixed up in. So get your way up towards the Highway 281 and the Highway 71 intersection, and let's see where we stand after that, and we'll go from there. But for now, I think that's a good trajectory. Thank you so much, Emily. She's going to keep an eye on it for us. She is in Blanco County, heading up towards, in general, Marble Falls, close to Highway 71, runs east to west, west to east right here. That may be in the running for some very strong winds at the very least, as this storm is kind of circulating but just not tightening up just yet. We'll have to continue to watch very closely to see if this does tighten up, but checking in on velocities, once again, not seeing anything alarming. Let's get back to Allison Miller. We'll get her mic turned on again. She has an update for us, perhaps from the National Weather Service.
Yeah, it's an update from the National Weather Service. You had mentioned the hail. They said they're seeing a few strong storms strengthening near the Edwards County line, so they're going to issue a special weather statement for small hail, and that does include Rock Springs. That's coming out soon. Gotcha.
And for reference, that's pretty far to our west and southwest. Way back that way, towards Rock Springs. So this storm is way out ahead of many of its friends that are gathering along a dry line over here farther in West Texas. And it's these storms that fire up just on their own, able to do whatever they want, that can sometimes spin up into tornadoes like this. Classic supercell we've seen rolling through ever since about 7 a.m. this morning. So we've only been on air with you for, give or take, about an hour, hour and a half maybe. Hopefully we don't have to anymore today, but this is just one of what could be additional storms that develop from the streamer shower activity. And any one of them that especially fires up out ahead of that line, which is currently entering Mason County, non-severe at the moment, any of those storms out ahead of it could at times produce tornado-like weather like we're seeing up here, potentially in Marble Falls, Round Mountain. I mentioned that some of these streamer showers getting siphoned right into the storm, they can lead to disorganization. Storms don't like that. Tornado-producing storms don't like being interfered with. So if we're lucky, that means we're getting a little bit of help from the additional streamer shower activity working in from the south. I'll tell you what, I think you're getting some hail right now in Marble Falls. We'll have to see how big that is. Could be up to 1 inch in diameter. The hail core looks a little bit more well-defined. It's not the tornado potential just yet, though you are under that tornado warning for about another 8 minutes. Make sure I'm not missing any updates. Okay, let's flip over to velocity. And we're kind of studying it together. Again, nothing of super pressing concern. If we are going to see any potential tornado on the ground, let's zoom in here a little bit closer. It's now going to be east of Round Mountain. So good news. Hopefully you got through that without much issue. We're waiting for reports from the National Weather Service on whether or not there has been a tornado. We have not seen any yet, which continues to be great news. But if there is a circulation potentially producing a tornado, it's going to be right here on the east side of Round Mountain, just about to get out of Blanco County, heading towards the northeast. This is not a super dire situation right now. I don't want to send you panicking. I'm just not seeing it on radar. Granted, this rotation, what we're looking at, what we're sampling in the atmosphere is pretty far away from our radar sites, and that means we're looking a little bit higher in the atmosphere. So maybe there's a tornado that we don't know about that is on the ground, but I would be surprised if there was one, y'all. Velocity just is not impressive from either radar site, and that's why the colors keep flip-flopping. There is broad rotation, but I think this thing is getting walloped right now just by siphoning in some of that other shower activity that's been moving in from the south. You see it going right into there. That could be disrupting that circulation. Hopefully, could be good news. That storm itself may have some time down the road to reorganize. Maybe this hook echo gets a little bit more well-defined on the east side of Round Mountain, but for now, we're doing okay. Seeing a notable flare-up in lightning activity. Let me see if I'm making that up. Make these lightning icons a little bit bigger for me. Because, well, not that big. When we do see a flare-up of lightning activity, could be a sign that the storm's pulsing in intensity, growing a bit taller, beginning a reorganization process. That could be happening. I'm seeing lightning strikes on a more widespread and more frequent basis in here. So we'll have to watch that closely. Flipping over to velocity once again, see what kind of updates we're getting. It's just nothing just stands out. I don't want to discount the potential that there's a tornado out there, but at the moment, it's just not screaming at me that there's a tornado. Granted, let me zoom you out. Our radar sites are pretty far away. We've got one up here, Williamson County, so you're looking pretty far up into the atmosphere, and we've got another one down near New Braunfels, so you're looking pretty far away from the storm. So the data is not the best, but this is still the best tool we have to work with a tornadic storm like this to see if there's one dropping. I just don't see it. We got to play it safe, though. This tornado warning's got another 4 minutes of life left. If all goes according to plan, they will not issue another one. We'll check in with Allie in a little bit, see if there's any chatter about that in the National Weather Service chat room, but I doubt they would. Okay, I don't even need to hear from you, Allie. I mean, I do. I want to hear what you have to say. But they just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning that now includes Liberty Hill, Leander, Bertram. If that's happening, that means they're not going to extend this tornado warning. So with that in mind,
is my mic on, Avery?
Your mic sure is on.
Okay. So you were saying that the circulation's disorganized. The National Weather Service agrees, but they are seeing a hail core, as you mentioned, possibly develop. And like you said, they just issued that severe thunderstorm warning downstream for golf ball size hail and a tornado possible tag given the history of the storm.
Yep. I agree with that. I think that's the right move given the current circumstances. Of course, if that changes, we will hop back on air with you. But for now, this tornado warning, which will expire momentarily, is going to be replaced by a severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be in effect until 9:15 through the western side of Williamson County, Leander, Liberty Hill, not including Cedar Park, Bertram on the east side of Burnett County. And all that lightning activity certainly shows a resurgence of that updraft and potentially some large hail. It's indicated here up to, maybe 1.5 inch diameter, maybe ping pong ball size. The warning is for 1.75 inch diameter hail. Enough to do some damage, but that's certainly a lot better than a tornado, right? All right, before we let you go, I want to let you know quickly that we do have a tornado watch that's been expanded to include most of central Texas. This will go until 4 p.m. Not everyone's going to stay in this watch until 4 p.m. This means the atmosphere's got the right ingredients to produce tornadoes at times. We've got this singular storm moving through the hill country. It's been causing some problems, but nothing alarming just yet. And we've got plenty more activity off towards the west as well, moving in towards the hill country. But it's really these streamer showers, a little bit more trying to develop here down near Bandera, eventually coming our direction, that will cause some problems at times. For now, though, I'm going to let you go back to your regular programming with CBS Mornings. We will check in here in about another half hour with a look at what this looks like. Hopefully no more tornadoes, but we got to be prepared for the worst. Thanks. Stay safe. Never mind. You sure can get me a little bit longer. Okay. Before we let you go, we're going to get an update from Emily. Again, if you're just joining us, she's been tracking this storm for us through the hill country, heading northbound on 183 as of last check. What are you seeing? I'm hearing at least some pitter-patter, hopefully not some hail on the roof there, Emily.
Yeah, Avery, I'm still trying to figure out if it's hail or not, but it's definitely coming down a lot compared to what we were just seeing. Let me give you a look outside. As you can see, we're barely moving through the Marble Falls area right now. It is pouring out here. Visibility is really bad. The streets are flooding out here, which is a great reminder when it comes to those waters, turn around, don't drown for anybody out on the roads. But as you probably just saw with the lightning strike in this area, so the weather has definitely hit Marble Falls, and I mean, everybody's stop and go through this area right now, and it's really picking up in this area, which is just an indicator of everything you've been talking about, Avery. So we're gonna stay out here, continuing to track the weather as it moves, and we'll continue to update you, so stay with CBS Austin. So I'll send it right back over to you, Avery.
Thank you so much, Emily. Yep, that's our Emily over in Marble Falls. That's frankly a good place to be, because I think if there's any potential tornado circulation becoming more defined, it's going to stay just to the southeast of Marble Falls. All right, I mentioned that there were some showers getting sucked into the storm, kind of disorganizing it a little bit. Well, I think that process is over, and this thing may be trying to get organized once again. As mentioned, this tornado warning will expire in approximately 30 seconds. But it could be reissued down the road. Checking in on velocity before we let you go this morning. Yeah, I may not be saying goodbye for long. Some rotation shown there northeast of Round Mountain. If there is another tornado warning issued, we will keep you advised. Please continue to be watching this closely in Spicewood and all of our friends in the severe thunderstorm warning through Williamson County and eastern Burnett County. We'll be back momentarily, about 30 minutes with another check on radar unless the storm gets to be there early. Coming up.